get our next speakers talk brought up here. Our next speaker is Terrence Benefield. He is with Seatuck Environmental. One of my former interns. Good to have him here. We're doing a number of conservation updates today. One, of course, was the talk that we just had. And then this one, Terrence Benefield is going to talk to us about the conservation update on the River Otter roadkill mitigation.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Terrence Benefield. I'm a conservation technician at Seatuck Environmental Association, and I'm a graduate student at the University of Miami studying conservation biology. And today, I'm here with you to share with you a conservation update on Seatuck's efforts to assess and mitigate motor vehicle collisions of North American river otters on Long Island. Today, I'll take you through the history of otters on Long Island, the challenges they face, and the solutions we're working to implement to protect them. River otters once thrived across North America, ranging from Alaska and Canada to the southern United States. However, by the early 1800s, unregulated trapping, habitat destruction, and pollution had caused their disappearance from Long Island. Fortunately, thanks to conservation efforts, including habitat restoration, legal protections, their population has been recovering. In 2008, we documented successful breeding on Long Island for the first time in over a century. And by 2018, otters had spread throughout the North Shore, the Peconic Estuary, and even into the parts of the South Shore Estuary Reserve. This video that was playing was actually a video I took when I was in Orient. Their return is a conservation success story, but one that remains unfinished. Today, otters face a new and growing threat, and that's motor vehicle collisions. As otters reclaim their habitat, traffic collisions seem to have emerged as their leading cause of mortality. Long Island's dense road network frequently intersects waterways otters depend on, and since their species has such large home ranges, spanning up to 24 miles, they're required to move frequently, which increases their risk of crossing roads and getting hit by cars. Dams in front of heavily developed spillways block their natural movement, forcing them onto roadways, and their nocturnal behavior and low profile make them difficult for drivers to see, putting them at even greater risk. Over the past few years, we've conducted assessments of all major stream crossings to determine which sites are problematic for otters. Our previous collaboration with the North Atlantic Aquatic Connectivity Collaboration, which aims to determine aquatic connectivity across Long Island, gave us a good place to start to know where each crossing was. Our assessments consisted of looking at aerial imagery and taking measurements of dams and other spillway structures needed to implement passage. Through our research, we identified two types of problematic sites where otters are being killed. The first is at road crossings near dams and spillways where otters are forced onto roads due to barriers in the water. And the second is at overland crossings between separate water bodies where otters have to cross roads because there is no continuous stream or river. Here's a map of all problematic crossing sites that we've identified. The circles represent potential collision sites and the X's represent confirmed collision sites. We mapped a total of 55 sites with 28 potential collision sites and 27 confirmed collision sites. Otters rely on continuous waterways to travel, but many of Long Island's dams and spillways block their natural movement. When this happens, otters are forced to exit the water and oftentimes cross busy roads to continue moving through their territory. One of the most effective solutions for these sites is creating alternative pathways over the dam, such as stairways or ramps, to help the otters navigate past these obstructions safely. One of our most significant conservation successes has been at Little Seatuck Creek, located in the town of Brookhaven. Here, otters traveling between the tidal portion of Little Seatuck Creek and Pepperidge Lake were forced to exit the water to bypass a 4-foot dam, putting them directly onto East Moriches Boulevard. On March 2nd, 2021, an otter was struck and killed at this crossing. To prevent further deaths, A cinder block stairway was installed at the dam on March 23rd, 2021, and just over a month later, on April 27th, 2021, trail cameras captured 2 otters successfully using the stairway. Since then, no additional otter roadkill incidents have been reported at this site. Another site we identified was at Birch Creek Pond, located in Southampton. Here, otters moving between the tidal portion of Birch Creek and Birch Creek Pond had to exit the water to bypass a 3-foot dam, putting them in direct danger on Route 24. In March 2019, an otter was struck and killed at this site, and to address this problem, we installed a stairway at the dam in September 2023. Within just 3 months, trail cameras recorded 3 otters using the stairway to bypass the road. Since then, no further roadkill incidents have been documented. While stairways have been effective at some sites with smaller dams lower than 5 feet, other locations require some more robust interventions. A site meeting this criteria is at Mill Pond Dam in Oyster Bay, which has been one of the deadliest otter road crossings on Long Island. Here, a 15-foot high dam forces otters to exit the water and cross West Main Street, a heavily trafficked road. Over the years, at least 3 otter roadkill have been recorded, 1 in 2005, 1 in 2011, and most recently in 2022. To prevent further deaths, we'd like to install a wildlife ramp that will allow otters to bypass the road safely. This solution requires additional engineering, but is crucial for long-term otter conservation. The second major type of roadkill site occurs when otters travel between separate water bodies that are not connected by a continuous stream or river. In these cases, otters must cross roads to reach new habitat. At these locations, the best solution is to install culverts or underpasses, which allow otters to safely pass beneath the roadway instead of crossing it. At Waterside Road in Huntington, otters moving between Blankard Lake and the Jerome Ambro Wetland Preserve are forced to cross Waterside Road, putting them at extreme risk. Since 2012, at least 4 otters have been killed at this site, and with the most recent fatalities occurring in January 2024. This location is a clear priority for mitigation. The best solution here is to install a culvert beneath Waterside Road, which would provide otters with safe passage between the 2 water bodies. This approach has been successful in other areas and would significantly reduce road mortality at this site. A similar issue exists along Montauk Highway in Sagaponack, which bisects the Long Pond Greenbelt. This road cuts otters off from accessing the Sag Swamp Preserve, a habitat rich in prey species like American eel and brew crab. To restore safe passage, the ideal long-term solution is the installation of a wildlife underpass. A 24-inch steel culvert has already been identified on one side of the highway embankment, but it's unclear whether it extends beneath the road. If necessary, a new full-length culvert would need to be installed to ensure a safe crossing for otters and other wildlife. The return of river otters of Long Island is a major conservation success, but their survival depends on us addressing the new threat of road mortality. There are several ways you can help, like supporting policies that prioritize wildlife-friendly infrastructure, advocating for the inclusion of wildlife corridors in local development plans, and spreading awareness about the importance of mitigating roadkill risks. And report otter sightings near roads and help track problem areas. By working together, we can ensure that river otters continue to thrive on Long Island for generations to come. I appreciate your time and thank you.
Hello? I don't know. I don't know.
I can hear you.
Okay. Thanks for the presentation. It was really great. Okay. Have you looked into how much it would cost to install the culvert in Huntington between Blackheart and Crab Meadow?
I personally have not. Mike, have you looked into the prices?
Exactly here, there's a little question. So it's Waterside Drive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but in Huntington, installing the culvert there between Blackheart and Crab Meadow.
Right, yeah, so there's a lot of topo there, so it's very easy to get a culvert in on the east side, water side. That's the Salt Meadow side. And then as you saw in the photo, there's a concrete wall on the other side, so it would be a tricky installation. But it's been done in other places. And I want to give a shout out to Peter Janow, who actually spent a lot of time when we had snow cover. He actually figured out the exact spot to the foot where he had put a trail cam up there too. So he tracked, using tracks, he found where they crossed the road. And it was an adult, probably female with 2 pups using that corridor. So really important. And they have tried to put up some signs, wildlife crossing. But as Terrence pointed out, you know, they move at night and they dart across the road. They're really low to the ground. Most people I've talked to who have hit an otter, all they knew was they heard the thump thump as they went over it. They didn't even see it.
Terrence, this was great, and I'm glad your NAC training has been put to good use. I'm
Thank you.
curious if you wanted to give people a little bit of a primer for the mapper and prioritization tool that Seatuck and Save the Sound are working on that involves a lot of the data that you collected on the culverts and dams.
Yeah, you talking about just like the NAC things, like everything we've done for NAC, essentially?
I can also give a little bit of a speaker. Seatuck and Save the Sound are working on compiling all the road stream crossings in Westchester County, Nassau County, and Suffolk County into one tool that municipalities can use to prioritize based off of a couple factors, one of which is including aquatic and riparian species.
So yeah, summer 2022, when I was a field tech, we had I was working with the North Atlantic Aquatic Connectivity Collaboration, and I was doing stream assessments on basically everywhere a stream crosses with a road. I would assess that culvert there, get the measurements, and then upload it online. And then I think it goes off to a GIS expert, and then they create a map and shows how well water's flowing throughout all of Long Island.
My name is Daniel Carpin. I live in the town of Huntington, and about 15 or 20 years ago, I spoke to one of the residents along Waterside Drive, and he did say 15 or 20 years ago that there are otter there. I suggest going to the next Huntington Town Board meeting at 100 Main Street in Huntington at 6 p.m. on April 8th and make a presentation to the town board so that the town is aware of this. And then once you get public exposure, the highway department will then take care of the problem. We have a very good highway superintendent who is taking care of a lot of drainage and other problems. So I suggest doing it.
Thank you.
And done, we've been working with them for about 8 years now. Okay, one last question.
Did you have any progress in the 8 years?
No, I wouldn't say we've made any real progress other than we've pinned down what exactly needs to be done.
Oh, great. The map is great that you showed. I was wondering if you and Save the Sound have done maps on any, other species, and if you've shared them like with the county or the towns to kind of use this in planning, especially when areas are going to be developed, so that there might be some contribution to this kind of effort.
Yeah, Seatuck, we make a lot of maps. We have maps for diatomous fish. We have maps for otter watch, not just otter roadkills, but just watching otters. Yeah, small mammal maps. So we have a lot of maps and we definitely use them.
Oh, the question is, have you shared them? Like, I'm going to talk to Sarah Lansdale about some other planning issues, and it would be great to know if we might, bring this issue to the county also with their GIS and, kind of sharing it around the county.
For this map, we haven't shared it with anybody, but our other maps are available on our website.
Thanks, Terrence.